example. Open image in new tab. All right, I want us to look at this particular image that I just googled up. We were given 8 raised to power 1 over 8 raised to power 2 over 3. So this 3 that is below, it becomes the root of that particular figure. Why that 2 becomes the exponent. 16 raised to power 1 over 2 is the same thing as finding the square root of 16. So this one is going to give you 4 if you calculate 16 raised to power 1 over 2, because this 2 will become the square root. So it becomes square root of 16 raised to the power of 1. So it gives you 4. So that's how I come about my raised to power 1 over 2 that I am doing here. So, and the reason why it is coming to me like as simple as this is because I actually do this regularly and I am familiar with this thing. And doing it regularly, not in the sense of writing PHP every day. I don't write PHP every day. I don't even remember the last time I wrote PHP other than today now. So now let's start from our addition and start looking at our results one by one. So I will do echo result. So echo was my variable addition. Now let me run this on my server and see my output. Okay, I got 15. So what this one is doing is I declared a variable called number 8. I kept number 10 inside it. I declared another variable called number B. I kept number 5 inside it. So now I did number A plus number B. PHP will now look at variable A. It will ask itself that, oh, what is inside variable number A, this particular variable? What is inside it? It will come and replace it with what you have here. It will replace it with what you have here. So you have your 10 inside number A. So when it is passing and executing this script, it will replace this one as 10, and it will replace this number B as what you saved inside it as 5. So if you now execute 10 plus 5, 15 AB, it will now save that 15 inside this particular addition variable. This is exactly what is going on there. There is no special magic behind it. That is why we have our 10 plus 5 to give us 15. So if we go for our addition, our subtraction, let's see what we'll have. So let's echo subtraction this time around. And let me refresh my server. I got 5. So because it's doing what's my number A, 10. What's my number B, 5. It's now doing 10 minus 5. And it gives me 5. So let's look at my multiplication and see what we will have. Multiplication. Okay. I'm going to run this one and see. So this is 50. So indirectly it's taking my number A and multiplying it by number B. And just like I said earlier, it's picking what was saved inside number A and picking what was saved inside number B, then doing the multiplication. Now let's look at division. So division, run. Bingo. We have 2. Your 10 divided by 5 will give you 2. So let's look at modulus, which is the remainder. I'm expecting a 0 here. Modulus, refresh. You got 0. Because if you divide your 10 by your 5, it will divide it perfectly without remainder. No, in primary school, if you say 7 divided by 3, you say it cannot go. Here in programming, if you do 7 modulus 3, it will go and it will give you your remainder. So after modulus, we have square root. So let me look at what's inside my square root. I have 50. Why am I having 50? I am expecting 10 instead of a 50. Um, 10 times 10 is 50. 10 raised to the power 2 is 50. So the square root of 100, the square root of 100 is supposed to give me 10. Please, can someone help me do? Okay, don't worry. Let me just open a calculator here. So I'm having 100. Okay, 100 raised to power 0.5 is supposed to give me 10. So why am I having 50 in my results? What am I getting wrong? What am I getting wrong? Okay. Let me put this one inside bracket and see what I will have. So what we are doing presently is called debugging. This is the process that will go to when you try to debug your app. Okay, now I got my result as 10. Now this is where the hard work of programming is. It is one thing for you to know that yes, you've gotten your result. It's another thing to know that, oh, why did I get this result and why am I not getting the correct answer? See, what happened the other time was that PHP evaluated this thing one by one. But by putting a bracket, I'm telling you that, oh, you still remember board mass? Please let me do board mass here. Evaluate this one and raise it to the power of whatever you get. You see, 1/2 is an expression on its own. And when you do 1/2, you get your 0.5. So now, if without this bracket, it's giving me 50. But with that bracket, it's giving me, what's it called, 10. So I am bound to think that, yes, what is going on here is related to board mass. And if you look at your board mass, you know, you take in your bracket first before you take in your off, your division, your multiplication, your addition, and subtraction. So by so doing, by bracketing some expression, it makes it easy for PHP to decide which one to execute first. Now, exponent is supposed to give us our expected result. That's number a raised to power 2. That should give us 100. Yeah, we got our 100. So that is that about working with data types and what have you. I believe I'm supposed to go into our joint classwork where we take a small problem and we attempt to find a solution to it. But before we do that, this is supposed to be our classwork. It's quite simple. So all our big men, our men of honor, our brothers in the house, please bear with us that we are only dealing with something simple. So this second will be an assignment that will be submitted. You also have to drop a group link and we will evaluate your, you drop a link to your code and we evaluate your, your result. So, but what we'll be doing together is this Naira to Kobo converter and vice versa. What I mean by vice versa is a particular converter that takes your Naira to Kobo and a particular converter that takes your Kobo to Naira, depending on what you want to do. All right. So before I go into this particular this our example, I would like to give room for questions. There's anybody with a question, please let's treat our question before we go into this so that we clear any aura of a confusion that is on the ground. Obishetan Lamilekan is saying, please at the end of the class, kindly help us with video tutorials about this. Yes, you can drop materials and video tutorials after the class that will help in solidifying your knowledge in PHP. And if you need further help, we have so many Agbadel in the building. But I think I start my boss. I start our information technology president.
Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening, guys.
I think Aremu Akorede wants to ask a question. Please, Mr. Akorede, can I ask a question, please? Hello, Mr. Akorede, are you still with us?
Yeah, yeah. Can you hear me clearly, guys? Please. I just joined this meeting and I think I've been left out some things, but I would love to, you know, can you guys come back or can I just chat with someone that can explain better for me because I don't understand from the start. Okay, so can I get a video clip? I said, can I get a video clip after? Okay, okay, thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Uh, all right. Um, uh, Precious Silvanus, our Honorable Secretary. No, that's not us. Precious Silvanus, I think that's a guy. Is it only echo that you can use to print the statement? No, it is not. The echo is the commonly used one. There are other ways to print to get output in PHP. And let me bring out my magnifier again. So other ways to get output is by using print, by using var yeah, var. I think that should be var underscore done. Then yeah, I think I am very, very certain of this too. Like I can use my two hands to beat my chest. So if you say print open and close bracket, which of our variable names should we print out? Let me print square root, or let me just print addition. Yeah. So let me come back to my interface here and refresh. Oh, the reason why we're having these two together is because, like I said earlier, without a line break, it will be concatenating these things together. Let me comment this one so that it will not be visible and refresh. So this is giving me 15, and that's from my addition, and that's from this print statement. So the print keyword is another way to get out the content of your variable to be displayed to the user. Then there's another one, this var_dom. var_dom, the only time and the only thing that makes me use var_dom is whenever I am debugging a particular PHP script. Because var_dom will not only, it's like, it gives out other additional, let's just see var_dom in action. So I don't want to say something that is not. So var_dom, let's say, let me do multiplication. And see, let me do a comparison between echo, print, and var_dom so that you see what I was saying, that I use only var_dom for debugging and stuff like that. So let me echo a line break here. Echo HR. Sorry if you don't know HTML. HR means an horizontal line in HTML. So it's used to draw an horizontal line. It makes your next object appear in a new line entirely. Let me refresh this and see what we have. No, this is not what I'm looking for. Am I not getting my HR? What am I missing? What am I missing? What am I missing? Aha. Okay. So this is it.
It's the forward slash interview.
Just do this
Okay,
is for
suggestion now.
echo. This is for print and random. Random goes below. All right. Let's refresh this and see what we have. Sorry. Okay, this is my first output. I use echo for this one. This is my second output. I use random. Now, I need to, sorry, just to make things clear so that things will not be too much deadlocked. Random goes below. If you look at all these things, everyone was printing out solid variables that the user can make use of. What is int? Int is telling us that, oh, this particular information is a data type that contains an integer. But then, of what use is that information to an end user? You see, PHP is supposed to be a server-side language. It's supposed to be running at the back end of your application. It's not supposed to be giving your front-end users like what they are not supposed to know. So when information like this gets outside, an average user might not know what it means, what it entails. But if it's an hacker that is actually trying to do some reconnaissance on your on your web application, you will be able to like gather some information that, oh, so you are using a particular integer in this particular database field. So that means all the particular records here will be used. So that's this kind of information, no matter how little they might, no matter how little they might. Unless it terribly needs to be correct. Because if after debugging you fix your bug, please always make sure you clear out your bug. Not to be dumping data that are not needed for content you have to do the content. Then there is something that I've not explained. Some string operations. You see, I did something here. I wrote a string. I put a full stop, and I wrote another string. And nobody is saying anything about it. Well, let me say something about it now. When you see full stop in PHP, full stop is for concatenation of strings. Okay, that's a big grammar. Let me break it down. Concatenation means when you add two things together. So that means normally for your integer or your double data type, you can simply do 10 plus 10. You can simply do 2.5 plus 2.5. But can you simply do letter A plus letter B in PHP? No, you cannot. For you to do the string of a particular character with the string of another character, you have to use this full stop. The full stop is for adding two strings together. Other types of operators that I've not discussed about include the conditional operators, which are the if and the else. So they are used to define the condition for your app to run when you have to like apply so many logic, in-depth logic. So those conditional comes into play. Okay. I didn't talk about increment and decrement operators too. Sorry. Increment and decrement operators, they are used to like increment, like is what they do. They increment or they decrement stuff. An example is, let me go back to my code. Okay. Let me just comment out all this, my echo. Down on this new line. Where's my amplifier? So we have a pre-increment and we have a post-increment. So say variable. Okay. Number A, we have 10 in our number A. So let me just say echo variable number A plus plus. Echo plus plus variable number A. Echo variable number B plus plus. Oh, sorry, minus this time around. Echo variable minus number. All right. So this one is a post increment. This one is a pre-increment. This one is a post-decrement. This one is a pre-increment. Now, let me explain what it does one by one to you. See, from the word post, no, post means like after something. Pre means before something. So what this one will do is that plus plus means add one to what you have, but it will do something. It will first of all evaluate A before adding one to it. Now, this one will add one before it evaluates A. This one will evaluate B before subtracting one from it. This one will subtract one from it before evaluating B. So that's the difference between post and pre-increment and decrement. So, how do I? Okay, let me give it a line break. Echo HR. Okay, let me run my code again. Okay, this is the first one. We did number A plus plus. Number A was previously 10. But because it was evaluating number A before adding one to it, we are still seeing our previous value. Meanwhile, after executing this line of code, number A becomes 11. So plus plus number A means that it will add one to number A before executing it. 11 plus 1 will give you 12. That's why we have 12 in this second line here. So here, number B was previously 5. But unfortunately, we are doing a post decrement. So it's 5. At the end of this particular line, our number B is now 6. Sorry, it's now 4. So now, this particular line is doing a pre-decrement. A pre-decrement means that it's going to remove 1 from it before evaluating number B. So now we are going to have 4, which is the previous value, minus 1, which is now 3. So that's how a post and a pre-increment works. So let me just quickly summarize other operators. The comparison operator is when you do comparison between two particular variables, whether they are equal to each other or they are greater than or less than each other. That's what you do with comparison. Logical or relational operator is used to like what grammar can I use? It's used to bring up various logic for your application to run. So if you are going to be comparing two variables together, you can say if variable A is greater than variable 2. But now, if you are comparing like 3, 4, 5 variables, you can say if variable A and variable 2 is greater than variable 3 and variable 4, or you say if variable 1 or variable 3 is greater than variable 3 or variable 4. There's a difference between and or. It's just simple English here. When you are using and, you are trying to do the union of two sets. You are adding two things together as one. When you are doing or, you are trying to use either of one. So that's what is going on there. Then your assignment operator is equal to operator. Then other than the is equal to operator, we also have plus equal to, minus equal to, dot equal to. So plus equal to, we do a plus and add it to the previous value. Minus equal to, we do a minus and add it to the previous value. Dot equal to, dot is for string concatenation. It's just add up strings together and put it inside the variable. So let me look at other questions before. Please, sir, what is the work of exponent? Or must we include exponent anytime we run a PHP program? Before I take that one, in PHP, $sign represents variable. Okay. I think that one was an answer to. Let me take the question from the last one. What is the work of exponent? Or must we include exponents in any time we run a PHP program? Well, exponent, it means raised to the power of something. It's just a mathematical term. It's not a programming term. And you don't use exponent unless you are working with a program that requires you to raise anything to the power of anything. So let's look at what exponent means. It's just raised to the power of something. Exponent. So an exponent refers to the number of times a number is multiplied by itself. So when you look at 2 raised to the power 3, it means 2 times 2 times 2. So exponent is just you raising something to the power of another thing. Okay, the $sign represents variable. Yeah, that's true. HR means horizontal line. Can PHP be written independently or is always embedded with HTML? Well, in response to that question, Mr. Michael, PHP can be written independently. Earlier, I don't know, maybe you didn't join us when we started. I stated that PHP can be used as a server-side scripting, as a command line scripting, and a writing desktop application. When you are using it with a server-side scripting, you might write it as a standalone PHP file to write APIs for front-end use. Or you can write it as a back-end language also, but with HTML embedded in it. Either embedding HTML in PHP or PHP in HTML. You can see me using HTML tags like BR tags, the HR tags inside a PHP file. That's me writing HTML in PHP. And in the same vein, you can write your PHP in HTML. And when your browser sees that opening and closing tag of PHP, it knows when to start interpreting a particular entity as PHP code or as just normal HTML code. Now, can we join two data types together like in board math? Well, if you are saying like in board math, like doing, where's my, okay, like doing, let me just like this. Sorry. If you are saying, let me say variable result is equal to multiplication. Multiplication plus addition minus subtraction. If you are saying something like this, like putting so many variables together and performing different operations, you can do something like this in a PHP. But if you are talking about adding up two different data types, like adding a string to an integer, there is a way we do that. You have to go through data type conversion. So data type conversion involves you taking your what's it called? Your string to an integer. So there are other data types. Say for example, like an array. Now you cannot you cannot print out an array as a string unless you like turn that array into a length of string on its own. So, and there is a particular way you can just look through your array and concatenate this result into a string. So, some data types can be easily concatenated together, and some cannot be easily concatenated or added or modeled up or merged together. Let me put it that way. Someone said, I think the tutor used a site like Github earlier. Are we also to get that too? Well, see, I would recommend that whatever code you write, no matter how useless it might be, just keep on pushing it to Github, because it's like a repository of how you've come, of how far you've come, and how far you are going to go, of how far of how far you've come, and your progress so far when it comes to programming and software development. Because if you are interacting with a programmer or a developer outside, one of the first things they will ask from you is either your portfolio or your GitHub profile. And by so doing, they can like try to evaluate, oh, so this guy has done something like this. If you look at my own GitHub repository now, you can say, okay, oh, from what I've written here on my profile, you see that, oh, I do CSS, I do JavaScript, I do HTML, I do Java, I do PHP, I do Python as well as some other languages, and my actions and what I've done so far. So no matter how useless your code is, nobody's writing any useless code. Please don't be offended by my words. But no matter how simple your code is, push it to GitHub, please. Get a GitHub repository today. It's not too late for you to get that. It's your digital passport in the programming community. So let me see if you have any other new questions. Okay. With the few minutes that we have left, please, if you kindly permit me, I will quickly walk you through the whole programming concept that we discussed earlier. And someone is asking me, how do you push to GitHub? Now, I will try as much as possible to be very, very fast with what I want to do, because we don't have much time left. I will write this code on Replit. I will bring it out. I will bring it out to my local system. I will create a Git repository on local code, and I will walk you through how you write your code and push to GitHub. So if that's okay, I will go right ahead now, and I might be asking you some questions to carry you along, please, and be able to answer the questions on time, so that we can just do what we want to do, and we'll be on our way. So, all right. Our question, the one we'll be doing together, is that we'll be creating a Naira to Kobo converter. You know, something that you can use to convert Naira to Kobo, or you can use to convert Kobo to Naira. So the very, very first step in software development, like I listed earlier, is for you to understand the problem. Now, who can like just give us a brief explanation to what this problem expects us to do? Please, I'm awaiting your response in the chat. Or if you are feeling that maybe it's take a look, you can just say, hey. Mr. Nelson, you are saying something?
No, I'm not saying anything. Basically, I see. What it means is, how much Naira can we get if or how much dollar or kobo in 1 Naira, something like that.
Okay. Well, in order not to waste too much of our time, I will start right off from where Mr. Michael stopped. Mr. Michael said, where's my magnifier? Okay. Mr. Michael said, how many Naira is is in a kobo,
How
or
many kobo is in
how many
not kobo? Like how many kobo is in 1 naira? Not
is
money
in,
naira.
is in a kobo. Okay? So you say that how many kobo is naira? Okay? This is what Mr. Michael told us. So like, if we understand how many kobo is inside 1 naira, it will be very, very easy for us to know how we do our division and our manipulation for us to take a naira to a kobo or a kobo to a naira. So I'm just going to assume that I don't know this, and please, I'm not even assuming I don't know it. So on a normal day, this is also a normal day. When I am with a question like this, like when I'm with a problem, say in the process of developing such solutions like this, and I want to like, okay, oh, this problem, let me understand it. So the next thing that I do is I head down to Google. Google is friendly, it's my friend. We interact on a daily basis. So I'll just ask Google, how many kobo makes 1 naira? Beautiful. 100 kobo makes 1 naira. Let me quickly note this down in the comments. 100 kobo makes 1 naira. I believe you can see my screen, please. 100 kobo makes 1 naira. So by this, we can now say that, oh, if 100 kobo is equal to 1 naira, then anything that we are receiving from the user, how do we evaluate this? Let's say I want to take, this is 100 kobo is equal to 1 naira. Let's say I want to take 5 naira to kobo. So I know that I'm looking for 5 naira. Now I need to evaluate it as F kobo makes me 5 naira. So I'm going to create an equation that looks like this. Let me use a multi-line comment this time around. Okay. So if 100 kobo equal to 1 naira, then X kobo equal to 5 naira. Well, in simple arithmetic, we just formed an equation. And for us to find the value of X here, we only need to do cross multiplication. So X times 1 will give us X. So, let me say 1X, 1X is X. So my X is equal to 100 times 5, 500. So it is safe for me to assume that 500 kobo is what I have inside 5 naira. Now, this is a perfect understanding of the solution of the problem. Now, what if I'm now taking it from kobo to naira? Let's assume I have a kobo. Okay, let me deal with this 500 kobo. So I'm going to say if 100 kobo is equal to 1 naira, then 500 kobo is equal to X naira. So here, I will do cross multiplication again. 500 kobo times 1 naira gives me my 500k. Let's say gives me my 500x. Now, in simple arithmetic, in order for me to get my x, I will have to divide both sides by the coefficient of x, which is my 100. So when I divide both sides by 100, 100 over 100x over 100 will give me x, because that 100 will cancel 100. Now, 500 over 100 will give me 5. So my x here will now be 5 naira. So basically, I've evaluated how to convert, I've understood how to convert naira to kobo and kobo to naira. Let me remove this. So this is our conversion for kobo to naira, and this is our conversion from kobo to naira. Why difference are conversion from naira to kobo? You know that 5 naira gives us 500 kobo and 500 kobo gives us 5 naira. So now, what is the solution design? The solution design, before we even start to code, these are the way we now like come up with the flow chart. That the first thing we need to do is to establish a constant. So I'm going to establish a constant that says let me just try and run this and see. I don't know if my line of thinking will work, but as for what I'm thinking now, the first thing I need to establish is the relationship between 100 kobo and 1 naira. Then collect an input from the user. And after collecting an input from the user, we need to find what the user is looking for. Is it kobo or naira? Okay, the two most important things here are variable. We need to type of conversion. Then we need to also know amount to be converted. So if type is kobo to naira, then I'm taking my kobo to naira. I will do, this is 100 kobo times input. I'm trying to look at the formula here. This is okay. 500. This is the input over 100 kobo. Okay. Constant value of my kobo. So then do amount divided by constant value of kobo. Else, if type is naira to kobo, then do, if it's naira to kobo, so I'm taking my naira to kobo. All I have to do is just multiply my constant with my amount. Multiply constant with amount. Okay, so this is my solution design. Okay, let me quickly do what I want to do. We don't have much time. This is my solution design. So let's assume that my variable for my kobo value is equal to 100. So my variable for my input, user input, is equal to let me say I'm giving you 5, and I'm taking, this is type of conversion is equal to naira to kobo. So I can just say if type of conversion is equal to naira to kobo, then do, okay, so I'm doing naira to kobo, I'll just multiply the echo variable input times cover value. All right. So else, so echo variable input divided by variable cover value. So if I run this program now, it will assume that I'm converting my naira to kobo, and by so doing, it should give me my output as this function. So let me just quickly click on run. I get 500. So that's telling me that my 5 naira input is the same thing as 500 kobo. So let me just do this. But if I'm doing, let me take kobo to naira and let me do 500 here. So let me run this one. I get 5, which is my 5 naira. Now to make this thing balance, let me just do dot kobo naira to kobo then dot naira. So 5 naira. So my 500 kobo as the input gives me 5 naira. So if I'm putting 1,000 naira and I'm taking, I'm giving you 1,000 kobo and I'm taking it to naira, it should give me my value of 10 naira as the output. So if I'm taking, I want to take this one as naira to kobo, N to K, naira to kobo. So I'm giving you 1,000 naira and I'm expecting the kobo value. So it's telling me it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 100,000 kobo. So that's that about writing your. So although when you are developing websites and you want to request for user input, you use a standard form. But since I'm not taking HTML class here, I'm not going to go into details. So for the sake of the person who asked about pushing code to GitHub, I'm going to take this particular piece of code, save it locally, and push this to GitHub. So the process of pushing to GitHub that I follow is that the first thing I do is that I create a repository on GitHub. So I'm not finding here. Let me open. Okay. So my repository. I'm going to create a new repository. Let me call this Nacoss PHP. Nacoss PHP. Yeah. So description. This is just a simple code from Nacoss class. So yeah. I'm not initializing it with a README or a Github or a license file, because I'm doing that, I will have to do git pull to my local repository before I now push something back. So I'm just going to create this empty repository just like that. There will be some instruction on the new page. If I'm doing this and say, if I'm uploading stuff, I can upload stuff manually, the way you upload stuff to a particular server, or from your command line, you push an existing repository on the repository. So I'm going to, my GS code is this, just a moment. Let me just do, okay, no problem. Inside, sorry. I'm waiting for my system to respond. Okay. new folder. I'm calling this test. I hope it's inside my test folder. I'm saying new file sample.php. Sample.php. So I'm just going to copy that code straight from repl.it site. So this is it. I'm just going to do Ctrl A, Ctrl C, and I will put this here as Ctrl V. So I have all my code here, PHP test everything. Okay. So after putting my code there, I'm opening my command prompt. Please don't mind me, I am just a kind of guy that works with shortcuts and everything. So if you want to open your command prompt, you can just press your Windows key, search for command prompt, or another alternative is press Windows plus S key. You get this particular list of options. Then here you use your Windows shell, or for some system you have command prompt. Or the one I like to use better, you press Windows plus R. You have this little command line. You just type CMD and press enter. It will open up your command prompt. So now I'm going to navigate into the folder that I have the sample.php code. That's me doing CD. This is actually my new duty to be like to familiarize yourself with some command line manipulation and navigation stuff. So I'm going to go into C XAMPP, then start my XAMPP, my htdocs. That's practically my development folder. My htdocs, and then I have a folder called MOU online. Then I have a folder called test, which is the one I just created. So I've navigated into this. If I do dir to check the content, this is my sample.php code file that was created at exactly 10 p.m. on 11/17/2020. So by so doing now, I know that okay, my code is here. For me to turn this into a Git repository, my first step is to do Git init. It will initialize an empty Git repository. Now after that, I'm going to do Git add fullstop. Now Git add fullstop is going to add what's it called? All the files present in your in your directory are something that will be tracked by Git when you do Git add fullstop. Now, if you want to track just if you want to be working with just a specific file, you can just do Git add sample.php. So by so doing, we are limited to working with sample.php alone. But since that's the only file in my directory, and that's the only file I want to track, I'm just going to do Git add fullstop. So after that, I can do Git startup to check the status of my working branch. It said, I am on branch master, no commit yet. Changes to be committed, which is on the new file, sample.php. Meanwhile, oh my goodness. Please, are you still hearing me? Hello?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
All right.
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
Thank you very much. So, the next thing I'm going to do is to make sure that my remote origin is actually there is a branch of my remote origin on my local origin. So now, how do I do that? See this particular code here, git remote add origin. Is what I used to do that. I just come here and copy this particular one because my git repository URL is already here. So I'm just going to copy this and push it here and paste it. Now my remote origin is in here. So if I do git, I'm calling git branch zip. Okay, I don't have any branch yet. Let me run this one. So let me paste master branch rename field. This branch checkout. That's a valid object name master. I'm having error in renaming my branch to error named master of some branch rename field. Branch rename field. Yes, let me run my commit first. No, wait. This status on branch master. Send it to be committed. Branch rename field. Branch rename field. Okay. If I'm having a problem with my very, very current branch, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to remove the current branch from my local system and like create a new branch. So I need a particular command called git branch checkout, but I've forgotten the particular git branch checkout. Okay, checkout old branch. Okay, I think this is exactly what I need. I need to just check out from that food branch because I'm having trouble with renaming it. Check out the switch to branch. Okay. So let me do git checkout this main. Sorry. See this message. Okay. I've just switched to a new branch called main. So I'm going to do git branch and main. Why am I not having it? Okay. CLS. Let me do git commit and my first commit. Okay. My first commit. My commit is successful. Let me now do git push u origin main. That should be the command. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. My commit is done. So now I can fully tell you that if I do git status, your branch is up to date with the origin main branch. So if I come here to refresh this page, that particular code that I've written on my computer is here, sample.php. And see, this is my commit, my first commit. That's the name I give to the commit when I was doing it. Now the beautiful thing about commit is that you can about GitHub is that as a versioning system, you can invite all moderators to come and work on your code together, collaborators to work together on your code. And as for this, now if I edit this online, if I say I open this one, I just edit this online. So let me just put just a single line. I'm going to put it as a comment, and I will just simple edit. I will commit my changes. Yeah. So now you know that what I have on GitHub is now different from what I have on my local machine. Now I will just go to my local machine, do my git status to know what's up. So now if I try to push anything, let me make a change. Okay, don't let me make a change. The first thing I'm supposed to do is to do git pull. So if you notice that this change is after this 11, this is on line 35. That's where I added this. Because if I check my line 35 here, my line 35 is only 11 that is here, and this equation. So I'm going to do my git pull to pull what I have on the local repository to my remote file. So now it's noticed that there is a particular change, one file has changed with 2 insertions and 1 deletion. So if I now go back to my sample.php code, you see on line 35, I now have this line that is there. So I've successfully pushed stuff to GitHub and fetched stuff from GitHub. So if I just make any change here and I say, oh, So you came through. So and I save this. Automatically, my local branch is ahead of the remote branch by one commit. So if I check my Git status, I'm going to find out the Git status. So your branch is up to date, but there are changes not staged for commit inside sample.php file. So I'm going to do git add again. Then with my full stop. Yeah. After that, I'm going to do git commit with a message that says another new update. All right, and I press enter. So my changes will be committed, and I can now do git push git push to my main what's it called, main branch. So git push view origin main. All right. So my file will be pushed to the remote repository. We are done. So that's, if I refresh my remote repository, I should find that particular line of code where I wrote, oh, so you came through easy. Now, if you come to your repository, and this particular link here is your the one at the top here is the one that is used to track your changes. This is telling me that I've made 3 commits since I've created this repository. If I check them, I'll be able to see the previous version of the code that I've written, and I can like rewrite and restore to a previous version if there's a problem with a new version that I just commit. This is very, very common when you have so many collaborators working on a particular. Someone came and copy a repository, sending a pull request. Then another person came and copy that same repository, sending a pull request, and you are like committing the same changes on the same file on the same line. So there's possibility that you have an error to be commit. So you can just restore back to an earlier version that was working correctly. So that's how it's done. That's the end of my class today. So the assignment here is that you write a simple program that takes your Celsius to Kelvin. And I'm just going to give you a hint. I know most of us might be science students and might be familiar with chemistry, but if you are taking anything from Celsius to Kelvin, we are going to do plus 273. So if I'm doing 2 degrees Celsius to Kelvin, that would be 2 degrees Celsius plus 273. That would be 400.5 Kelvin. And if I'm having 300 Kelvin and I want to take it to Celsius, that would be 300 Kelvin minus 273 to give me my 7 degrees. So that's how you can feel about that. I will look forward to seeing your results, seeing what you got your answers in terms of taking this Celsius to. And I will also be dropping a link of this RESTful that we did today. And if you actually want to keep up the don't forget to keep up the, because it's a public repository, so everybody can like have access. Anyone that you want to work with, anyone that you want to talk or clone, please feel free. And please, by fork, I mean FORK. I don't mean dirty word. FORK means when you copy something, the terminology is programmed. So please don't think I'm a sensitive. These people are not giving me the designation that we need. This is not what we use in programming. Okay. In software engineering, a project fork happens to be when developer takes a copy of the source code from one software package and start independent development on it. So it's like you copy my source code, you put it on your own local machine, and you work your magic on it. So feel free to fork the repo and do what you want to do. And I'll be expecting the links to your solutions too. Thank you all for having me. Yes, I'm still here, sir. On Friday, that will be very, very, very tall.